Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And today we're going to be talking about what is it costing to you. Now, this is a very serious conversation, and this is more of a episode to just help you guys wake up, help you guys into taking the right action steps and to becoming the best version of yourself. If you guys are brand new to, the podcast or the YouTube channel, well, welcome. Make sure to, subscribe. Make sure to always stay notified. That way you guys are never missing another future episode, because at the end of the day, what we do here at Heartletics.com is give you all the tools to succeed on your health and fitness journey, but also we want you to become the best version of yourself, not just physically, but mentally as well. And today we're going to be talking all about taking that right step, right? The right step. And now here's the thing, that right step, that first step, it's not going to be easy. So what is it costing you? And we're going to be talking about that in today's episode. And I want to share with you guys this. Has anybody ever had to make a financial decision before? I'm pretty sure everybody has, We're all adults here, at least for the majority of the people, the demographics that are, either tuning into the YouTube video or subscribe to the podcast. We're all adults, okay? Which means the majority of us can drive a car. Well, have you ever purchased a car before, and let's say, or you're thinking about purchasing a car, and let's say there's a 2020 car compared to, let's say, a car from, 1998 or something like that. What makes you decide to buy that car, that is a newer model compared to something that's older, that maybe it was filled with a lot of rust, maybe it was broken down, maybe it had a lot of wear and tear, and just like, it literally looks like crap. And now here's the thing, that, that brand new car, or at least, semi-new, is going to be costing you a lot more than that raggedy beat up car. What made you, right, realistically decide to, potentially purchase that newer vehicle rather than the old one? Now put this situation, this scenario with other purchases. Maybe your house, what made you decide to buy a nicer house compared to something that's a little bit less expensive or a lot cheaper? Is the house maybe, let's say, in a not so good neighborhood, and maybe you have some kids at home and you're like, hey, okay, I got to make sure that they're safe, right? That's my job as a parent. So, you're going to be spending more money to be buying a house and maybe a safer development. What about, let's say, a phone? I mean, we've all seen, right, walking into a gas station or a Save-A-Lot or whatever the case may be, a dollar store, right? Right, Dollar Tree even. And you see that they sell those cell phones there, those smartphones even. There's a screen on it that's it's not like a flip phone. Like, you can actually, there's a screen, there's some apps you can download. What made you decide to have the phone that you have now compared to one of those phones? Because let's face it, the phone that you probably have is either an Android or an Apple. That's it, right? You probably got an iPhone or an Android, smartphone, a Galaxy or something like that. What made you decide to get that type of phone that cost you $1,000 more than something that you can buy at the dollar store, where you get a little card and you can fill it up with, minutes to call your friends and family on and play around on Facebook and listen to this podcast episode? What made you decide to get your phone? Think about that. Now, here's the reality of it. And most people that's tuning in to listen to this, once again, they're all adults, but I would say 90% of them are males. Why is it that us as guys decide to put ourselves last? We'll buy nice things for our family, nice things for our friends even, nice things for everybody else, but not us. And I don't mean materialistic things like a phone, a laptop, a car, a TV. I mean, let's talk about like a priority thing, as far as putting ourselves first, as in our body, as in our health. Why is that decision so hard for guys? Let's face the facts here. Let's be real. A lot of guys struggle out there with high amounts of body fat. And at the end of the day, there's not a fat loss pill that you can take and boom, instantly there's no more fat on your body. Guess what? That day's never going to come. And when they make a pill for that, you're not going to get access to that, right? That's going to be the elite. That's going to be the 1%, not us. Okay, let's just face the facts here. They're going to keep that tucked away. And what that means is you got to put in the work. Does that have to be hard? No. Nobody says it has to be hard, but it means you got to do something. You can't just sit on your butt all day, but yet why are we doing that? If we realize here that we're overweight, we realize here that we don't have energy, we realize here that we're struggling with maybe high blood pressure, high cholesterol, whatever the case may be, why is it that we're not doing anything to make a change? Because once again, there's not going to be a fat loss pill. There's not going to be some one size fits all magic diet that's going to cure everybody. No. There's the US population, right? Over 42% is considered obese. It's a lot of obese people in the US. Why are we not making a difference in terms of just moving more and watching what we eat? That's it. I think the reality is that we need a wake-up call. I think the reality is that we've been stuck and everybody's been handing us different things, right? As far as, hey, it's okay, you worked hard today at work to go sit around on a couch and just watch Netflix and drink a beer. It's like, no. If you want to make a change out there, if you want to reach something that you're not yet satisfied in where you are with your life, guess what? Like you got to have some sacrifice. You got to dedicate some time. You got to commit to something if you want to change. You can't become compliant and complacent. You have to put in some sort of effort. So why is it that we're not doing the simplest things that have the best ROI? Right? I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. It says daily habits equal success. You know, we go over all the time inside of our one-on-one coaching program at Heartletics.com, these 7 essential fat loss habits for success. Your calories for fat loss, your macronutrients for fat loss, your strength training, right? A routine that is suited around your body type and your goals and your schedule. Plain and simple. NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, hydration, which we're going to be talking about in the next few episodes here, some great systems for you guys to help you achieve your fat loss goals with these 7 essential fat loss habits. I'm really excited to share that later on this week. And then obviously stress and sleep. But why is it that we think it needs to be difficult and things like, oh, I must mean like, oh, I have to go run sprints or I have to go do backflips and burpees? Like, no. Like, take it from somebody that's in their 30s that doesn't really squat or deadlift. Like, you don't need to kill yourself in the gym to get a body that you want and have the energy levels and confidence that you want. Trust me. Trust me. Like, I'm living proof, okay? I think the reality is that us as men, we need that motivation. We need that inspiration, but also we need somebody in our corner kind of just slapping us in the face and giving us the reality of how it is. And if you're listening to this, and if you're overweight, you're out of shape, you don't like the way that you look, right? You don't like the way that you feel, and maybe potentially you're on high blood pressure, high cholesterol meds, guess what? The reality is this. If you have not yet, right, tried something, right, that has worked for you long term, okay, and you're just sitting around because you accepted defeat, don't expect the next 5, 10, 15 years to be like how they are today. Trust me. The reality is it's going to be a lot harder for yourself. I want to give you guys a really good example of somebody that knows this for a fact, okay? His name is Mike. He's not even through with our coaching program right now, all right? He got signed up. He's doing 16-week transformation program. But here's the thing, all right? I want to share with you guys a story because it's really inspiring to hear about Mike's story. And this has everything to do with the hardest decisions that we make. Guess what? It sucks, right? And usually they're the most expensive, right? Usually it's something that's very difficult for us to do. But here's the thing. When we go the cheaper route, when we go the less value-added route, there's obviously more repercussions. And these repercussions cost us more in the end. Quick little story before we talk about Mike. Has anybody, back to the car, right? We'll just use that for example. Has anybody bought a broken down car just because you wanted to save money instead of buying a newer vehicle? And then let's just say you take that car home and after a few months, you start having some issues with it. I don't know, maybe the battery dies, not that big of an issue, but maybe a few weeks later, something's wrong with the transmission. Or maybe something's wrong with the starter. And then us as guys, right, we try to like go to YouTube, fix everything, right? And maybe just, I don't know, just play around with it just to see if it works, just to, Google search it and just see if we can fix it, where we never really end up, fixing the root of the issue. And it's just wasting even more time. And the car continues to break down and deteriorate more and more and more as it progresses, to where you almost realize, man, if I would have just bought the brand new car, or the car that was more expensive, but guess what? I wouldn't be dealing with all these headaches with this cheaper model car, or this broken down car now, because now, after all these repairs and trying to fix it on my own, I haven't just wasted a lot more money than the first time of just paying something that cost more the first time, that was going to be more a better suited product or service for me. But now I wasted a lot more time. And let's face the facts here, people. Time is the most precious commodity we all have here on earth. A bum has 24 hours a day. A billionaire has 24 hours in a day. You have 24 hours in a day. You can't make back your time. You can always make back your money in life. So it's just like history always repeats itself. Sometimes as guys, we've tried things in the past, right, that we think it's going to help us out, like, I don't know, cutting out carbs. And you're like, oh, yeah, sweet, the first 15, 20 pounds, right? Give yourself a big high five. Like, it's easy, right? I don't need a nutritionist. I don't need a coach. I don't need professional help. I got this. I just lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks. So sustainable. But then what happens? 2 months later, you're falling off the wagon because you gave up your favorite foods, and then you're smashing headfirst into a dozen donuts, right? Because you binged, right? And the next thing you know, you step on the scale, regain all the weight right back, and you fall off the wagon for another few months. Something hits you when you look at yourself in the mirror with your shirt off, and you're like, holy cow, I should probably make a change. And then you think to yourself, oh, you know what? Keto worked so good for me the first time I cut out carbs because I lost 20 pounds like that. Let me go back and do it again. And then, oh man, guess what? Same thing happens. You lose 20 pounds. You think you're the best thing in the world, right? And that you don't need help. And then what? 2 months later, it hits you. You regain all the weight right back. Head first into a dozen donuts again. Think about it. Us as men need to look at our own track record. What has worked? What hasn't worked? What has worked long term is what we need to be looking into. You know what? Pretty sure like easy things that could work long term, that could create better habits for our lifestyle, like walking, drinking plenty of water, hitting your protein goal. Pretty sure that's going to help you out. Pretty sure that's going to be a lot more sustainable than cutting out your favorite foods, or endless amounts of cardio, or intermittent fasting. Guess what, guys? I'm telling you, right? When you learn how to apply these 7 essential fat loss habits for success into your lifestyle, boom, it's over. You got this, right? You're set up for success. You're following through with something that you can withstand, and it's going to have the biggest change in your life because you finally learn how to master your health and fitness goals. Now let's talk about Mike Berry. Perfect example. Signs up for a 16-week transformation program with us. Now here's the thing about Mike. Before him and his wife Jess got signed up for coaching, we had a call about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And I remember they FaceTimed me, right? And they were sitting in their truck and we talked for an hour, right? An hour going over the coaching program, going over all the details, going over his medications that he was currently on at that time. Everything. But when it came to the point about the investments, at that time, it wasn't feasible for them. And I'll never forget, Mike said, we will be back. And now here's the thing. A lot of guys say that. Oh, give me a few days. Let me think about it, right? Or let me talk things over with my spouse. Like, no, Mike said, hey, we can't afford this. I'll be honest with you, but we will be back. And sure enough, right? I think Jessica, his wife, emailed me, I don't know, 3-4 times in the course of those 2 years from our call. And she just kept on saying like, hey, we're getting ready. Hey, we're putting some stuff to the side. And I kid you not, right? They scheduled another call, right? And at the time, right, it's both of them are on the FaceTime call again. I love these two to death. Like literally, I love Mike, Jess. If you guys are listening to this podcast or watching this YouTube, I want to let you guys know how much I appreciate you guys. Like I love you guys. And we had another discovery call. We talked all about it. And now here's the thing. Right? Because at that time, 2 years ago, when there was me doing all the work and there was not really any coaches helping me on this journey, guess what? I wasn't charging, right? what I was charging at the time compared to what I'm charging now. And Mike knew that. Mike knew that, hey, this has been a whole different change in Heartletics, a whole different coaching program than 2 years ago when we first had our call. He watched the homework videos. He was well aware of that. And they knew they had to make a change. And so we had the call. We talked about the investment at the end. And, the first thing he said to me was this: I'm ready to go. And I asked him, I knew, Mike, hey, this is a lot more expensive than the first time we talked 2 years ago, man. Do you understand why? And what he said to me, hands down, was one of the best things I'll always remember in a client. He said, Joe, it's costing me more today not changing who I am. It's costing me more today not moving forward. So 2 years ago, when Mike and I had our first discovery call, when he was in the truck with his wife, Jess, he wasn't on as many medications as recently, okay? I believe it was just blood pressure and cholesterol. Now, fast forward 2 years ago, we're having another discovery call with him and his wife. He's a type 2 diabetic, right? I think it was 10.6 was his A1C levels. And that's shocking, right? Because, hey, I'm pretty sure, and trust me, I could be wrong on this. Mike will let me know because I know Mike's going to tune in. Pretty sure 2 years ago he was not a type 2 diabetic. But it was costing him more by thinking he has all the tools in his tool shed, by thinking he knows how to fix this issue when he really wasn't. And it was hurting him rather than helping him. And in the course of 2 years, the man went from a, regular just person on, blood pressure and cholesterol meds to somebody that's not a type 2 diabetic, which that's very serious. I take that very serious. When somebody tells me that they're a type 2 diabetic, their A1C levels are X amount, I immediately say, okay, screw your goals of weight loss, screw your goals of looking like this. Let's get you off of that. Let's reverse those A1C levels and let's get you not to become a diabetic anymore. That's pure health. That's when you know you're doing the right things. So back to Mike. He tells me this: it's costing me more today, not moving forward. I need to do this. I'm going to do this. We're going to find a way. Here's my $500 deposit. We'll figure out the funds later. And that was it. That was it. We figured out the funds later. And guess what? Mike had, I think, maybe 2 weeks of prep, getting used to how his workouts was, his meal plan, everything like that. And in 7 weeks, the man is not just off his blood pressure and cholesterol meds, the man is off all his medications. He's not even a type 2 diabetic anymore. In 7 weeks. Think about that. Guess what? That decision for Mike to get signed up and deposit $500, that was hard. That was hard for him and his wife. But guess what? That helped him tremendously. If you guys, don't know this, I'll put it to you like this without sounding really cocky like a smart aleck. But if you're not taking medications anymore, multiple medications, you're saving more money on the back end because now you're saving money through insurance, okay? And second, I'm pretty sure if you're not taking medications, you're eating properly for your body type of goals, you're training properly, you're burning body fat, you have more energy, you have more confidence, and you're learning how to do this all, sustain it because someone's teaching you and giving you the knowledge and the confidence and the guidance on how to do all this. Well, guess what? I'm pretty sure that's going to add years onto your life, which, man, I don't know about you guys, but adding years onto somebody's life, I think that's priceless. I could be wrong, but I think that's pretty priceless, So what did Mike do that you guys can take away as we finish up today's episode? What did Mike do differently, right, than maybe what you're doing right now? For starters, Mike decided to prioritize his health. Mike decided to take that hard step, which is the first step, which is admitting you don't know what to do and you need professional help on how to fix it. After that, Mike listened. That's it. I'll give you a bonus one also, right? So the first one is he took the right step. He invested into his health. He prioritized his life, plain and simple, for his family's sake. That was the first step Mike did. The second step was he listened. He listened. What does that mean? When me and the other coaches told him to do something, he did it. Plain and simple. We have a lot of fun. We bust each other's balls all the time on the coaching program. Like, we have a lot of fun. And guess what? The third thing is also this: constant communication with his coaches. That's it. So the first thing, he got signed up. The second thing, he listened to us. And the third thing was he had constant communication with his coaches. And he still does today. Where when he doesn't like something, he lets us know. For example, like, he recently had an injury. We had to, move things around with his exercises and his workouts to cater that leg injury that he was dealing with. So that way, guess what? He can still go to the gym, work out his upper body, and still progress. When he's going out somewhere or whatever the case may be, he's telling us. When he wants more help, when he has questions, he's asking. He's showing up for the Zoom chats. We're talking. We're in conversations. And guess what? That's why in 7 weeks, this man is not even a type 2 diabetic anymore. That's why in 7 weeks, this man is off all his medications. Because one, he started to prioritize his health and invest into his life for him and for his family's sake. 2, he listened to the coaches. 3, he told us when he wasn't liking things, or when he had more questions, or when he wants to learn more. That was it. Do you think you can do that? I think anybody can do that. But I think us as men, we have the hardest time we think it's accepting defeat when we ask for help, right? We're being submissive. But guess what? All we're doing is actually opening up the gateway and the doorways to starting to accept the reality of where we're trying to get to, which, let's face the facts, where are you trying to get to? Do you want to get off your medications? Do you want to have more confidence? Do you want to have more energy to play with your kids? Do you want to, like the way that you look and feel inside, looking at yourself in the mirror, or your work clothes, or maybe taking off your shirt in public, maybe at the pool, or cutting off, the grass outside in a tank top or something like that? Like, where is it that you're trying to get to? And just the reality is, ask yourself this: how long are you going to continue to struggle with this? And how long are you going to continue to do the same things that put you in this position where you are today? So, like, really think about this, right? Everything that you tried before in the past, odds are, if you where you are today and you don't like the way that where you are today, it's not sustainable. So I wouldn't recommend, right, constantly cutting out your carbs, thinking like, oh, you're just failing at this, and you can do this. You just have to have more willpower to withstand that and stick a little bit longer. It doesn't work like that. If it's not sustainable the first go around, it's not going to be sustainable the second go around. Trust me, you're going to waste a lot more time. Just like buying that broken down car where you have to constantly put in repairs, instead of just buying the vehicle the first go around that's brand new or nicer, that's going to be a safer ride for you and your family's sake. Yeah, guess what? Maybe that's where you need to focus on the sustainability. Maybe that's where you need to focus on the habits. And at the end of the day, right, that's what Mike does, as well as everybody inside of our coaching program. They just focus on the habits. The 7 habits for success, the 7 essential habits for success to help them lose the weight, keep it off for good, and start to become the best version of themselves, not just physically, but also mentally as well, because someone's teaching them, giving them the guidance and the knowledge on how to become the best version of themselves. And if that's something that you're interested in, or you want to have more information about, or start the next steps with becoming this, 2.0 version of you, awesome. Go visit Heartletics.com. We have tons of different resources on there that can surely help you out. You can even schedule a free call with me to see if it's a good fit for coaching one-on-one within me and my team to see if we can help you, just like how we helped out Mike. 7 weeks. The man signed up for a 16-week program, and in just 7 weeks got off all his medications. If Mike can do that just by taking that first step, by taking action, listening, right, and being constantly, communication with me and the other coaches, telling us when he likes stuff, telling us when he doesn't like stuff, asking questions, what could happen in your life? Go visit Heartletics.com and take a look at some of the free information that we have on there. Other than that, if you guys got any value at all from today's episode, I would highly, highly, highly appreciate and be super grateful if you can just share this on your social media, maybe on Facebook, maybe on your Instagram story, whatever the case may be. Share this episode, share this YouTube video even when it gets published. And then also, if you guys are on this YouTube channel watching this right now, please hit that subscribe button and that little bell notification. I'm always pumping out new episodes here literally every Monday through Friday. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's my promise to you guys. And I would love for you guys to be here to support me on this journey. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and be notified every time I publish a new video. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.